we know that most males, and when I say most, I mean all of them, because if it's most of them, then we say all of them, right? And that's another thing that drives me crazy when people try to say, well, it's not all of them. It is all of them. If it's most of them, it's all of them. Like, what are we talking about? So you want people to keep holding on to the 1% of males that are somewhat good, but not all that good, because you can't be all that good if you're not checking your own species. You can't be all that good. You're not useful. You're not that. If you're useful to like one female and then the rest of your species is running rampant, like what use is that to the overall humanity? You're not that useful, right? So we can't be holding on to the 1% when the rest of the 99.9% is going rogue. That's all of them. That's all of them, right? So it's like you say all of them, knowing that that's what that means. That means the majority of them, which means that's what we care about, because it's the majority of them, and that's what makes the difference, right? Does that make sense? Okay.
4B movement is a victory for us because we told them we don't want no old single mothers. They hit the wall. They're over 30. They had children before they got.
Okay, ladies, I just want to point something out really, really quickly while this guy is speaking, okay? I want you to notice his fingernails. Look at this male's fingernails. Oh my God, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm internally dying.
Hit the wall. They're over 30. They had children before they got married, and they got a high body count. They're doing us.
Okay, so here are some things that I want y'all to take note of. Okay, let's take a look.
They got married, and
look at this. Disgusting.
We're 30.
Look at his nails. No, oh my God, I'm dying. Look at those nails. Disgusting. Like, have y'all seen anything more gross? Look at his nails. Like, what is that? What's wrong with your nails? Why do they look like that? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't know. Is it just me, or like, am I just like super like, what women would get with that? Like, this is like, why would you attach yourself to this? There's no way. This person doesn't even take care of themselves. Look at the bags under his eyes. You know, the white part of your eyes are supposed to be white. Why are they not white? I don't get it. I don't understand. Look at the bags under his eyes. Look at his lips. Oh my God. Yo, bro. And this is the person. Look at the beard. Who knows what we would find underneath that thing? Disgusting. Like, you know you're ugly. You know you're ugly. You know that factually. So why you're coming here trying to harass women because you were gifted with, and I apologize for the audio, y'all. My mic, I don't know. I've been having issues with the microphone lately. I don't know if I'm just not charging it long enough. I'll have to look into that. But hopefully this is coming out clearly enough. But yeah. Why would you come here attacking women just because you ugly? How's that our fault? How is that our fault? I don't get it. I don't understand. Help me understand. Like, you are ugly, sir. You are super ugly. Look at you. Like, look, bags under your eyes. And then you have the audacity to be mean on top of everything else. Like, huh? Help me understand. And then you're like in La La Land. Oh, why are they doing this 4B movement? Like, sir, look at you. And then you have the audacity to be mean on top of everything else. Like, be self-for-real. Get the heck out of my face.
They had children before they got married, and they got a high body count. They're doing us a favor.
I don't care how many men make videos like this, act like they don't care that women don't want to marry them or have their children. We're all very well aware that there is a single male loneliness epidemic going on right now. There's not a single women loneliness problem. The 4B movement is about decentering men, and here they are doing what they always do, and that's putting themselves in the center of somebody else's movement. They have been trying their hardest to co-opt any movement that women get. We say we want a soft life, here they are talking about they're in their soft guy era. We say sprinkle, sprinkle, now they're talking about drizzle, drizzle. Like, every time we make a movement, they try to mirror us. How are you the leader when we're always following us? I guess we must be the leaders. I think the men are becoming afraid because they're realizing a woman's power. When they see these decreasing rates of marriage and childbirth, they're realizing that it's the women who have decided to make it that way. So they've always come up with some kind of scare tactic, some kind of manipulation, but the latest tactic is to act like it was their idea. We actually like this, right, fellas? We, wink, wink. Yeah, we, this is what we want too. No, this isn't what you want, but it is what you're going to get. The manipulation and scare tactics aren't working, and they never will. You're going to have to do the one thing you have been avoiding the whole time, and that is change and become a better man if you ever want to be with any one of these women. No one is settling for you anymore.
Hey, hola, mis amores, ¿cómo están? Hi, my loves, how are you doing today? So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about the 4B movement, and we're going to dive in a little bit deeper, okay? Because I'm starting to see that a lot of women, this is the real problem in my mind, that a lot of women don't know what that is. They don't know what it means, right? And also, when it comes to the word feminist, I'm starting to see that a lot of women don't even know what that means, right? So the word feminism, they don't even know what that means. And so I'm seeing a lot of pick-me's and a lot of pick-meshas harassing us as if they can't just go on about their business. Like, if you want to go around sleeping with everything that walks and letting them whoop the crap out of you and you paying 50-50, no one's stopping you. It's, in the US, it's a free country over here, all right? No one's stopping you from doing that, okay? You go do that, all right? So I don't know why these pick-me's continue to insist upon. They're like insisting upon themselves. You know when someone insists upon themselves, it's like, I don't really understand it. It's like, if you want to do that, then you go do that. But why are you harassing us? Because we don't want to do that. And then all these males are chasing us. It's like, why are you chasing us? We don't even want you. We're not chasing you, right? And they don't know the real definition. So they'll come on here, right? They'll come on here and they'll start saying idiotic things, like the most idiotic things I've ever heard in the world. And I'm like, oh, no. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. Okay. So they'll start saying things like, oh, feminists, they're such male haters. Oh my God, misandry. Like, what? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Misandry in the midst of a patriarchy? What are you even smoking, right? Like, what are you smoking? Like, one does not define the other, right? So individuals, women especially, I need you, pick-me's, right, to learn the difference, right, between emotions, okay? I need you to learn the difference between emotions and the real world, right? I need you to learn the difference between emotions, right, and behaviors, all right? So just because your feelings are hurt or you feel bad for the male species does not mean that when we're saying we're going to stay away from the male species because they're not good enough, right, does not mean that we hate them. It just means we're staying away from them. That's a behavior, right? That's a behavior, right? So get your emotions in check, right? And learn how to distinguish between emotions and behaviors. Anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and dive right in and see what's going on today and see what we can learn. Let's go.
Tag it below if I can find it, but it was basically this woman expressing how this whole movement to like decenter men is making some women feel isolated and making them feel guilty and ashamed when they are in less than perfect relationship. She was basically saying like, why do I have to be made to feel bad for the fact that I just wanted to fall in love? Why can't I continue to receive support from my friends that I don't listen to? And I've been looking for the words to answer that question. I haven't been able to quite find it, but I saw a tweet today that made it click in my head. Go with me here. The tweet was a screenshot submitted by a man to an advice column type of thing, I think. I should have screenshot it, but I forgot. I'm sorry. But the screenshot, he was saying that he has a wife who's 8 months pregnant, and for her whole pregnancy, she has not had any pregnancy craving. Or so he thought. Turns out she has had pregnancy cravings. Obviously, she's pregnant. She's just been paying their neighbor to help her with these cravings when the time comes, instead of going to her husband, who she got pregnant by. Then he also was saying that she didn't have morning sickness for this whole 8 months. Or so he thought. She did have morning sickness. She just didn't feel comfortable telling him about it, so she was going to her sister and her mom and talking to them about it, instead of the man who impregnated her, whom she is married to. So he confronted her about it, and she basically said that at some point, like prior to her pregnancy, he expressed to her that women who complain about things like that are whining. So she didn't want to be a whiner. So now she doesn't emotionally depend on him for things like that because she doesn't want to make him feel bad. So instead of going to your husband who put this baby in you, who you're supposed to be able to go to about anything, you're depending on neighbors and your friends and your family for things that he should be dealing with. And that is why we are so adamant about holding women accountable for the decisions that you make in your romantic decisions. That's why. Because when you start dealing with this man and we all sit around and tell you, hey, these are some red flags you're ignoring. I don't think that this is a good idea. Maybe you should end this. You don't want to listen because you're so insistent on falling in love, which is okay. But if we're all telling you this is not the man to fall in love with and you don't listen to us, what happens when he inevitably proves us right? Now we are the ones who have to give our resources, both physically and emotionally, to pick up the pieces that he broke because you didn't want to listen. And as your friends, as your family, as your community, we're going to do it because we love you, but we have a right to express that this is not really cool and to say that you should be held accountable for that because this is your decision. It reminds me of a friend I had like 2 years ago. She was messing with this dude who she had no business messing with. I told her that. She didn't want to listen. They weren't in an official relationship. They were doing everything that people in a relationship do. So I guess it was some sort of situationship. I don't know. They worked together. One Saturday night, all three of us went out. We were out all night. She and I stay in one city. He stays 45 minutes to an hour away. After we went out, I went home. I thought we were going home together. She went to his house. I said, okay, cool. The next morning, she had to be work at 7 a.m. and she's blowing my phone up, talking about she left her work badge and her like key to get into the building at his house. She left them at his house and she's calling me, who's an hour away, asking me, can I go to his house to go bring it to her? I said, why are you not asking that man who you're giving free coochie to? She's like, oh, he's busy. He can't do it today. What is he doing? You ask? It was his day off. He was sitting at the house. Yeah, you did. You heard that correctly. She left her work things at his house. They have the same job. He goes to that job the same time that she goes to that job. He just happened to be off that day and living 5 minutes away. He didn't even want to bring her the stuff that she forgot that she needed to get into her job. So you're calling me, who was out just as long as you were, but lives an hour away, and you want me to do it. Then when she got off work later that night, she needed a ride home, and who was she calling? Me, instead of that man who had you out there, who lives 5 minutes away. And me being a good friend, of course I went and got her, but I'm gonna tell you, you should not have to be calling me for these type of things if you got a man. If you're giving a piece of yourself to that man and he can't even get up on his day off to drive 5 minutes down the road and make sure that you can get into your job, something is wrong. That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. That is why we are so adamant about holding women accountable, because this does not just affect you, because you're not going to do it by yourself. You're going to get with this man that everyone told you not to get with. And when he shows you exactly why you should have left him alone, when he abandons you, when he leaves you, when he does you wrong, you're going to be looking at us and you're going to want some of my money. You're going to want some of my resources. You're going to want me to stay up all night on the phone listening to you cry about this man that we all told you not to be with. You have a right to do what you want to do, but as your friends, we have a right to have a problem with it. I know being held accountable sucks, and I know that it hurts to be on the side where you just want to fall in love and you don't understand why nobody can see what you see in this man. Yes, that hurts, but there's no other way to do it. I mean, I don't know what you want us to do.
You know what? Like, I think she's too nice. I think the boundaries are not stern enough. It's like, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not going to get your badge. I'm not going to travel an hour. I cannot do it. Right? That's too far. That is literally insanity. I'm not doing it, because these women and women like that don't learn. If you keep bailing them out, they will not learn. It's like, if you're choosing that species over your own, right, then he should be accountable for that. Don't come here asking me for nothing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And if you are so-called my friend and you get upset at me not doing something that I don't have to do, right, because I'm not the one getting free punani from you, right, you left it at this random guy's house. Ask him for it. Ask him for it. So the most I would do is if I had someone like this in my orbit, because I don't even think I would be able to stomach having someone like this in my orbit short term, much less anything else, because it doesn't make sense. These are the females and the ladies that will just take, and they never learn, right? And I don't know. I question this. It's a question I'm still debating as to whether or not it makes sense for these types of females to be in the in the circle of like more 4B minded, boundaries, respect wanting women. Because I feel, that saying where it's like, the one bad fruit ends up infecting all the fruits. I worry about that. I'm like, okay, this mindset of yours, I don't want it tainting us. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. And so if you've chosen that male, then that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. And don't come back here. If you're coming back here and you're still sleeping with said male and still acting ridiculous, you're not going to be allowed in. It does not make sense, right? It doesn't make sense, because that's your choice. Everyone has a choice to make. You're a grown up. You're not a child. Now you're acting like a male, right? Now you're acting like a male species, subpar, right? So no, it's like, if I had a friend and they started pulling some stupidity like this, I would give them one chance. And the reason I would give them that one chance is because I do it. Oh, you need your badge. Okay, let me see what I can do. And then I would tell them, hey, this is the last time. I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. If you have a friend or a male that you're sleeping with, he should be able to come to you. I live too far. I cannot extend these resources to you in this way when I don't even want to involve myself, right? I don't even want to involve myself, right? So I would literally have to communicate that to them. I'd have to communicate like, hey, this is the boundary. I'm not doing it again. And if you come to me again with that, I'm going to tell you, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I love you so much. Like, I care about you, but I don't want to continue to encourage this for you, because I'm not in support of it. I don't think it's good for you. Figure it out yourself. You know what I mean? So that's it, because I feel like by continuing to bail them out, it's just continuing to reinforce the negative behavior. That's what I think. Y'all leave it in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this particular issue.
You choosing to leave men alone don't mean that you will be left alone. So if you don't want to get...
If you have not watched his video, go watch his video. But this will be an unforeseen issue with the 4B movement once it becomes widespread in America. Patriarchy here has given men a sense of entitlement that is almost insane. One of the reasons we have not seen a rise in violence in the way that we could have is because there are women still giving losers coochie. The moment that women stop giving losers coochie, all hell is gonna break loose. And I am a part of the 4B movement, and I am prepared for what is yet to come. But I'm telling you, once women decide in mass numbers that they're not gonna give losers coochie, there will be an increase in violence with these men against women. Women giving losers coochie is what's kind of keeping them at bay, and it still ain't been keeping them at bay enough. Mark my words. We will see an increase in violence. That is why I am urging women, get you a pew-pew, take defense classes to learn how to fight, learn how to protect yourself. Because the moment women stop giving them losers the buns, we gonna have to start putting them down like dogs. I hate that. I'm not for violence, but this is reality. So get prepared. It's true. Literally playing the imaginary heroes in their minds. Because we all know that when it actually comes down to stepping up for women, that's not going to happen. But don't they love imagining the violence that could happen to their woman, that they might potentially save her from? That is their daydream. And because of it, we suffer.
So if you're a woman and you're continuing to say, oh, I'm not a feminist like an idiot, right? Then you could stay out of the movement if you want to, but don't come back here. Okay. When they whoop the crap out of you over there, when the males start whooping the crap out of you, when you're having to pay 80% of the bills because he was like, you're not even worth the 50% that I was paying before, and you're having to do nothing but give. Don't come here. Okay. Don't come here, because we're going to look at you like, what do you want? How do you want us to help you? Like, you're stuck there. You're stuck there. There's nothing we can do for you. Right. So don't come here when they start assuming you even more than they already are. Okay.
Are we not going to talk about how feminism is led by misandry? Like the 4B movement? Is that not of the devil? Like, it's literally evil.
Hey, little guy, I don't think you know what feminism is, let alone misandry, if there is such a thing, because feminism fights for equality for everyone. And as for misandry just hurts your little feelings. It doesn't physically hurt you, whereas misogyny actually unalives women. Now, for those of you that don't know what the 4B movement is, it started in South Korea, and all it is that women who are so fed up with toxic men, with shit men, with violent men, they decided they don't want to have anything to do with men anymore. So they stopped dating and having children with these men. Women not wanting to have anything to do with you is not misandry. Let me give you a quick comparison. You see, women who are trying to live the 4B lifestyle, they want to move far away from you. They want to have nothing to do with you, no more interaction with you. They don't want nothing from you. Whereas men like you who practice misogyny on a daily basis come toward women. You harm women. And my favorite part about this, especially because it affects you so much, is that women who are choosing to live alone are not only living alone, but they are thriving and living so much happier than they would being with somebody toxic like this.
Pick-meshas, I need you to really start trying to have a mind of your own. I need you to start trying to decode. Okay. I need you to start trying to decode. Like I said, right? Like I've said, there's a difference between emotions and behaviors. Okay. All right. Awesome. So just because women are saying, hey, I'm not going to have any children, I don't think that's a good idea. Right. I don't think it's a good idea for me to keep dating these males, because, you know, the highest unaliving of women is not because they get into car crashes. It's not even because they die while giving birth to children, which actually has a pretty high death rate for women. It's not even because of that. It's because they are consistently being unalived by males. And males are out of control. The purpose of males, right? The purpose of them is so they can serve women. They are here because they're supposed to serve us, right? Because we are the species. We are the ones that bring life. They are supposed to be in servitude of us, but they can't do it. Right. So they're rebelling all over the place because they want control and because they have no inner purpose. Right. If they search inward, think of it in this way. If you were a male and you searched inward and you're like, well, what can we do? We know that women are able to give birth. We know that women are in tune with their emotions. So we know that they're the ones that love things like planting flowers or taking care of kiddos, taking care of other people. What about us? So if you're a male thinking that, there's no answer that you can come up with, right? A lot of males will come up with, who's going to change your tire? Sir, I just changed my tire the other day. All right. Like I don't really understand where you're going with that. Like skill sets that us women can learn and do on our own, you're not needed. Right? All the things that I just mentioned that women come with automatically just by breathing and existing, right? Those aren't skill sets that you just like pick up from wherever, you just go to a class and you just pick up from there, right? It's like, it doesn't make sense. So males serve no purpose. The only purpose that they could possibly serve is to be here to serve women. Right? And the good males are supposed to be keeping the other males in check. Supposedly good, quote unquote. They're the ones that are supposed to be keeping their own species in check, but they're not. So are they really good? Questionable. questionable. I'm going to make another video, and that's going to be the next topic, because it's like, do we really have any good men? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not seeing it because the ones that are supposed to be keeping the other ones in check are the supposed quote unquote good males. And they're not doing that because their own species is running wild and rampant. They are wild, right? To the point where women are not procreating with you anymore.
Research has confirmed that it's easier to want to raise children when you don't actually expect to be the one doing the raising.
Yes, when polled, men always report that they want children way more than women do. And it's because men having a child and women having a child are two completely different experiences in society, both physically and mentally, and honestly socially too. For starters, a lot of people don't know that the US has by far the highest mortality rate of all of the developing nations. And will I even survive giving birth isn't a thought that men even have to have. So let's finally talk about it, because I talk about it a lot, right? When I'm talking to boys and we finally get to that stage where we're talking about what we want further down the line, and they always say they want all of these kids. And I always make it clear that I'm very hesitant to have any kids at all. And not because I don't like kids. I actually do like kids to a decent degree. And if I could assume the position of the father societally, I'd have tons of kids, right?
Now let's take a look at the data. What is the purpose of the 4B movement? Well, the 4B movement is meant to serve as a direct opposition to South Korea's patriarchal state and combat its pro-natalist policies, which view women's bodies and reproductive abilities as tools for the state's future, which is 100% correct. Okay. If you haven't watched the video that I posted about 2 days ago on the 4B movement, we go over, and there's data in there that goes over what the purpose is. Why are these males freaking out? Right. It basically answers that question. Why are they freaking out? Why is everyone freaking out? What's the problem? It's because the birth rate are plummeting. The birth rate is plummeting, right? In just about every developed country in the world. It's literally, they're going extinct. It's essentially, that's the easiest way in which I could put, in which I can literally put this, is they're going extinct, right? So the birth rate is literally plummeting, right? That's why everyone's freaking out. Not everyone, the males in particular are freaking out. And then the pygmies, the idiots, right, are out here like, oh yeah. Feminists just hate males. We just hate males. Ma'am, we don't have the energy to hate males. Okay. Like we're too busy having to make sure that we can actually fend for ourselves and actually pay our own bills, right? We're not hating males. We just don't want them here. Okay. We don't want them here. If you want them, take them. Okay. Well, why are you harassing us about that? You take them, right? If you want them that badly, you take them. Like, I don't understand it, right? But yet, the birth rates are plummeting. Birth rates are plummeting. Lowest birth rates that we've seen in history since we started tracking birth rates, right? Since we started tracking as a human race, since we started tracking those numbers, right? So let's go here. So feminists who engage in the 4B movement are known to actively resist the various ways in which gendered expectations are enforced in a conservative society, specifically relating to child-rearing relationships and employment. Now, I want you ladies to think to yourselves, okay, who usually ends up losing in every single one of these categories? Child-rearing. Who usually ends up having to stay behind, take care of the kids, make sure they're okay, and give up the entirety of their lives to do that? Meanwhile, they didn't make that kid alone. So where is the male species in this equation? Right? Even for the women that are married, it's even worse for them. Like the women that are married, I think it's worse for them because they're stuck in a relationship. They have to worry about this, I don't even know what to call this male species that they're stuck with, right? And then on top of that, they have to take care of a child and they don't even know. They don't even know that this is not life. This is not how you're supposed to be living life because you only get one. They have no clue, right? So who usually gets the brunt of it underneath the current systems that we have today? Women. We lose all around, right? So if you're going around saying, oh, I'm not a feminist because they're male haters, okay, well, don't join here, right? Don't join here. Don't be a feminist. Then go out there, okay, and see how they treat you. I don't know. You're on your own, basically, right? If you want to be on your own, then go be on your own, right? But don't come here trying to harass us, trying to call us names, because I'm going to call you names right back. It doesn't even make sense. I'm going to look at you and say, are you dumb? You know what I mean? It's not even going to be like names. It's just going to be like, anyways, let's get back to this, right? So this resistance involves not only withdrawing from dating, but also rejecting prevalent gendered beauty standards that are and their associated consumerist practices in South Korea. So we all know, well, if you don't know, it's really, really bad as far as in South Korea, really what they prioritize is looks. And it's actually to the point of, I mean, people unalive themselves, right? If they don't meet a certain beauty standard in Korea, there are people in the masses end up unaliving themselves for things like this. Beauty standards, how they're seen by other people is very, very important to them. So we've heard of several K-pop stars, for example, actors from Korea. Anytime they get into any type of trouble or publicity that's negative publicity, they end up unaliving themselves. It's actually a really, really big problem over there, right? So, fighting against these things is essential. It's essential, right? Because it doesn't make sense to live life in this way, right? Now, as a woman, if you want to choose to live that life, then by all means, right? Even the 4B movement is not forcing males to do anything. We're not forcing males to do anything, right? You don't have to do it, right? We're just wanting them to stay the heck away from us. Okay. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Like, stay away. We're not giving birth to your dusty species. We're not going to get in a relationship with you, because think of what the definition of a relationship is. Think of that for 2 seconds, right? So that's what the fight is against, right? So if that means the human race goes extinct, then so be it. You know what I mean? And if that means in South Korea, the ladies over there that keep saying stupidities like, now it's just male haters, this and that. Okay, well then don't participate. It's stupidity, because you're trying to pretend like you're not participating, but yet you're participating. If you don't want to participate, if you're going to be for real about it, then go marry the next hobo that you see right around the corner, or go marry the next dude that you see, despite the fact that he's putting hands on you, threatening to unalive you. Go marry and stay with him. Then I'll know you're for real. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's not that hard to prove that you're really for the cause that you're for, which is being anti-4B or anti-feminist. Okay. Why is anything, I've never heard someone say anything that's pro-male is like bad or bashful, but every time the word feminist and feminism comes up, because it's pro-women, there's a problem. Oh, you hate males. Right? You don't have to hate males to be a feminist, right? Behaviors are not the same as emotions, right? I don't have to hate males to be a feminist to see how crappy you treat women. Yeah, I don't have to hate males for that. You know what I mean? I don't have to hate males to crack open a history book to know that it's because of the feminism movement that I even have the rights that I have today. You know what I mean? Like, it's like women, use your brain, and if you're not going to use your brain, stay out of the conversation. Period. You're subpar. If you want to be with the subpar species, and you are subpar because you are not connecting the dots yourself, stay out of the conversation. That's how I feel about it. So that's kind of the thing. That's the thing with me. And if you watch my videos, you know that a lot of my videos are integrated, right? There's a lot of diversity in them. And so whether you're married, single, blah, blah, it doesn't matter to me, right? As long as you're making sense when you speak. Okay. That's what I care about. Like, does that make sense? Or are you making sense? If you're not making sense, get the heck out of here. You know what I mean? You're not making any sense, right? So when you start saying things like, no, the 4B movement, that's just man haters and da 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 da. So you live in Korea, and it's a lot of people that say, oh, I live in Korea, I know what the meaning is. They're the main ones that don't know jack squat. They have no idea what the meaning is. It's overseas, because we're actually taking the time, because we've never heard about it, right? So we're actually taking the time to pull it up on Google, do the research, read about it. So we actually know about it. Those ingrates don't, right? They don't know about it, especially the women over there that try to talk smack about like the feminists and 4B movement. They have no clue. They don't know anything about it, right? Because they haven't even taken the time to research it. They've just taken what the patriarchy has told them, whatever their environment has told them. Oh, these people are evil. Oh yeah, I guess these people are evil. And that's what they're going by. And they don't even realize that they're basically programmed robots just walking around looking stupid while their birth rate continues to plummet and decline, because you're doing the exact same thing that you just don't want to put the label of said thing on, right? It doesn't, I mean, it's like, make it make sense, y'all. So yeah, so this is it. Right? This resistance involves not only withdrawing from dating, but also rejecting prevalent gendered beauty standards and their associated consumerist practices in South Korea. Very, very important movement, right? So members of this movement challenged the conventional life trajectory of marriage and family, while also condemning gender discrimination prevalent in the Korean job market, where women earn 31% less than their male counterparts for doing the exact same thing, y'all. So can you imagine, we are earning 31% less just because we exist? Does that make sense to you? And this is the movement that you don't want to be a part of? You don't have to, be like, oh yeah. Like, just because I have friends that are males, which I wouldn't advise that, because so many of them, trust me, I've tried it over and over again. Males don't know anything about friendships. They don't know how to be friends, and they're super creepy. And the longer you try to be friends with them, the creepier it gets. So, but you can try it. There's nothing wrong with trying. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. Whether you like it or not, it's to some extent, you're probably practicing some, if not all, of these ideologies. If you've decided, for example, you have ladies that have decided to not date because the pool of like males that might make suitable partners is so slim that who wants to spend the rest of their lives shuffling through all of that hay to see if they can find like, or shuffling through all of that nonsense to see if they can find a needle in a haystack? Doesn't make sense. You use up all your life, you die, it's over, right? It's like, no, I'm not spending my life doing that. For what? Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm just going to live my life. And then if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's it. That's as easy as that, right? So you have a lot of women with that mindset. And so it's practicing. It's still 4B. If you want to slap a label on it, you slap the 4B label on it, right? So you're still practicing a lot of the core concepts of this, right? And every woman is going to have their own reason for practicing said concepts, right? For practicing to said degrees, right? But at the end of the day, I think for women that understand and, can process and think on their own, we all know that, hey, none of what we've said, all of these things are factual. Women earning less just for being women. Does that make sense to you? Or why wouldn't you join a movement that's trying to fight against that? I don't get it, right? Women not being able to find suitable partners, especially with the pricing of everything going up nowadays. Why would you link yourself up to a brokey? It does not make sense. And most males are brokies. Dusties, complete dusties, right? Not suitable partners whatsoever, right? So it doesn't really make sense, right? So while 4B advocates aspire to instigate societal change through in-person demonstrations, online activism, and by exemplifying an alternative lifestyle for other women, their focus is not on changing the perspectives of men. We don't care about changing the perspectives of men. So why would we hate them? You gotta hate them. A fact is a fact. If you hate yourself and then you're projecting that on us, that's a you problem, right? Because that must be it. Because how can you tell me how I feel? You can't tell us how we feel, just because we're saying, look, stay away from us. No thanks, right? Every human gets to choose and should get to choose, right? Who they want to be around, who they might want to procreate with. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to procreate with you. You're dusty, right? It's simple. It's very, very simple, right? No hate needed. You know what I mean? It's just like, it is what it is. It is what it is, So trying to show women alternative lifestyles. And so to me, women that speak against the movement, women that speak against feminism, in my opinion, are not well educated. In my opinion, they are subpar, because what is your issue really? Why are you insulting other women as if we should be boxed in and only believe one thing? As if we should stay boxed in and only be able to live in one way, wanting males or wanting marriage. And mind you, marriage is nothing but a legal contract. That's it. You get into the wrong legal contract, you're screwed. So what's the problem here, right? Regardless of age, if you're going to be 30, if you're going to be 35, what good is it? That's better. It's better for you to be single than to get into a legal contract with a loser. Now you're 50-50, you're looking crazy, you're taking care of kids by yourself. For what? Just to come here. You've been brought on this earth. And the only thing you were able to do with your time here is suffer. It does not make sense, right? So that's kind of the message here, right? That's kind of the message here. Let's take a look at the rest of this videos.
Boy, that 4B shit right up my fucking alley. You bitches don't want to talk to niggas no more. Let's do it, sisters! I seen a video of a dude talking about you bitches. Well, he didn't say you bitches, but I'm gonna say you bitches because y'all know I love to say you bitches. He said you bitches don't want to talk to men no more. Y'all don't want to be in relationships. Y'all don't want to have their kids no more. Y'all don't even want to have sex with niggas no more. Y'all ain't gonna do shit but turn into lesbians and start fucking with each other. Okay, and bitch. And it was bro before we got to this 4B shit, but now y'all in the fucking uproar now. Okay? These motherfuckers is shaking in them gray sweatpants. Bitch, we don't give a fuck about them no more. Okay? Y'all was always choosing y'all homeboys over us any motherfucking way. What's wrong with us choosing our bitches? Okay? Y'all want to be sassy and gay so motherfucking bad. Y'all don't want to do what a bitch asked y'all to do. The bare fucking minimum. Y'all can't even fucking do that shit. So good motherfucking riddance. We don't want y'all ass. We good. We cool on it. Okay, y'all made this motherfucking bed. Y'all gotta fucking lay in it. And if you gotta put your homeboys in there, do that. Cause there ain't no bitches gonna be in it, okay?
Imagine if men got on this app and said, oh yeah, we're going to participate in the 4Bs.
If us men were to sit here and create a movement where we wanted to no longer center women and we wanted to keep to ourselves and stay far away from them as possible, I think that they would absolutely love that. I think if every woman on the planet had the choice to be a lesbian, they would absolutely take it. I ain't trying to sound like no simp or nothing, but bro, us as men, we suck. We're their number one unaliver by a mile, bro. Like, the vast majority of us are extremely dangerous to them. And they have a right to feel how they want to feel. And all they're saying is they just don't want to center us anymore. You know what I mean? If you really that guy, earn them. I mean, what's the problem? I mean, you ain't got no riz, you ain't got no game. I mean, are you a terrible person? If that's not you, then why are you getting so uptight about this movement? You want to change their minds, earn them back. They're just letting you know that us men ain't the only ones with all this power. They got the keys now. And without them, civilization doesn't move, bro. They're demanding their respect, deservingly so. So how about we give it to them, earn them back, so we can get this ish back on the roll. If not, they're out of here, buddy. And that's not on them, that's on us. Respectfully.
Like, imagine